Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to use this Apple Clips thing. I'm not an Apple guy. This thing keeps on like telling me it's maxed out on time or something. So I don't know. We'll figure this out. I'm not a YouTuber, so we'll just figure this out as we go here. I was talking about astaxanthin. Good for your liver, anti-inflammatory, really powerful. I would recommend that. I've taken so many supplements that just don't do anything. That one seems to work pretty well. It's not required. It's not a required thing, but I would. If you want to help your liver, that's a good one. Milk thistle is a good one. I took that for quite a while for my liver. If you're trying to help your liver, I would do that. I wouldn't have to, you don't have to take that long term. But when you're detoxing, probably good to take that. What else did I talk about? DHEA. DHEA is good. I don't know if I would just go take that unless you do some hormone testing first. So if you're low on testosterone and stuff, and cortisol, DHEA is a precursor to those hormones. And so DHEA can be pretty helpful. And I've had numerous doctors, after I've run some labs, put me on DHEA. So yeah, I would check with some doctors on that one. Check with your doctor on DHEA. Don't just go take it, because it's not just a vitamin. That one's actually a precursor to hormones. So don't just go take that one. Astaxanthin, multi-mineral. I think that's all the supplements I would recommend. I guess it sounds like more. I've tried hundreds of supplements, and this is the stuff that I think is actually helpful. Gut health, you can take probiotics. Take really high doses though, if you can. 100 billion plus CFUs. I'd say minimum 100 billion. I was doing 400 billion, so you might have to take multiple doses of a high dose one. You want to take a few 100 billion or even a trillion if you can, which sounds ridiculous, but your gut gets super messed up, and that can help. That can help with histamine intolerance. Do some research. If you have histamine intolerance, you'll do some research on what kind of probiotics to take and all this stuff. William Dickinson actually is a really good resource. William Dickinson on YouTube. If you have gut issues, histamine intolerance, mast cell activation, William Dickinson has some good videos on that kind of stuff. He talks about a lot of good stuff in there. So that's good. I actually make my own yogurt with, I think it's like tens of trillions of CFUs in it, maybe hundreds of trillions. It's a very high amount. And I started doing that because, it's just much more powerful. And I read this, there's this, it's called SIBO yogurt. Dr. William Davis wrote a book about gut health. Oh, what is this book called? Let me look it up for you real quick. Dr. William Davis. I should just know this stuff, shouldn't I? Okay. Oh, that didn't work. William Davis Gut Health book. Super Gut. Book is called Super Gut. He has recipes called SIBO yogurt. He has a bunch of recipes in the back of that book. You can buy the book Audible and then get the supplement with it, or buy it on Kindle or whatever and get the supplement with the recipes. And then the recipes have El Reuteri is the main yogurt that he really likes. El Reuteri. So you can make that. It's really interesting. So you make this yogurt. You put some inulin fiber in there for the stuff and then some probiotics of these specific varieties, and then you make it 36-hour type of a thing at a warm temperature, like 102 degrees. And you can combine these couple different strains. And I like it because you control which strains are in there. And you get a lot of CFUs, like ridiculous amounts of CFUs. So you got to make sure your body can handle it. Because you could have some serious die-off if your body's not ready for it. So, but I would work up to that. You could try kefir also. I did kefir first, homemade kefir. Store-bought kefir is not very powerful. So if you need something that's not that powerful, you could do homemade or store-bought kefir first. But it's way less. Your homemade kefir is going to be like 100-fold more powerful. You can do homemade kefir from raw grass-fed milk is very good if you can find that. I did that. Very powerful. I had a problem. I think if your gut and your body is still messed up from mold, I think that there could be possibly problems with taking kefir, because your body isn't able to regulate, at least mine, the yeast levels and stuff in your gut, because your MSH is messed up. So for me, it helped and it hurt. It helped resolve some gut issues, the kefir, like really quickly. My like loose stools and stuff stopped like very quickly. So that was good. But then all of a sudden you got constipation, which is actually worse. So I got some constipation and then I've been dealing with that ever since. So it moved the needle. It made a change for sure. It made a change. So I just think the yogurt, I think you could control better, and the yogurt doesn't have yeast in it. Kefir has a lot of yeast in it. And I think people with mold issues have yeast issues. I do. Certainly most people do. So the yogurt's probably a safer bet. So probiotics, SIBO yogurt from Dr. William Davis. Pull up my notes here and see what else I was going to talk about. Food I talked about, carnivore, paleo, GAPS. Ozone insufflation, I think it's good. It's really hard to find. That's where you put ozone gas into your sinuses or other parts of your body too, which I'm not going to get into. But I think if you do ozone insufflation for your sinuses, you can find someone that does that. That's really good. There is a company online that sells the equipment for like $1,000, called Promo, I think. I didn't buy it, so let me just look it up. Make sure I get it for you. No, I didn't find it. What is that place called? Anyway, if you search nasal insufflation online, you should find the equipment on there somewhere. Promo Life, yeah, I was right. Promolife.com. So I think that's good. It's $1,000 the equipment. I've thought about buying it. I may end up buying it if I can't get this nose stuff figured out with nasal sprays. So that's something to look into. Ozone saunas, really good. I did ozone sauna at Dr. Grosgold's clinic. He has a HOCAT machine. You can actually make your own ozone sauna with a little steam sauna from Amazon. The little fabric thing is like $100. Needs to be a steam sauna. $100 steam sauna. Your head sticks on the top of it. It's really goofy. And then you can get a little ozone generator with a tube. They're like $50 on Amazon. And then you just tube the ozone into the steam sauna. And you got to be really careful to not breathe the ozone in. So you got to be, make sure that's sealed up good. And the kids are yelling. Hold on. Sorry. And yeah, that would be good. I think that if you can't do ozone IVs or it's too expensive, the ozone steam sauna would be what I would do. And that's, you could set that up for about $150, and you could do it every day of the week at home. So that'd be pretty cool, pretty inexpensive. Good way to get ozone. Your body will absorb the ozone through your skin, through pores. Your pores open up when the steam gets on. And I felt when I did the ozone sauna, like I could really feel it. Like it kicked my butt. Like I could barely walk afterwards. So I know it was getting into my body. So I would, that's a good modality. That's a good low cost thing to do. Let's see, what else is there? Mindset. I didn't talk about mindset. I talked about limbic retraining a little bit. There is a big problem with anxiety and fight or flight mode with mold toxicity. I had it bad, and I've seen a lot of other people have it bad. So you need to get out of fight or flight mode. You really need to be mindful about keeping yourself out of fight or flight mode and understanding what that feels like and understanding what it feels to be out of that. I was in fight or flight mode for like 20 years. Didn't even realize it. So you might need to meditate. You might need to learn breath work, breathing exercises. I did the Gupta program. I think it was helpful. I think everything I did was helpful. I also prayed a lot. I read the Bible a lot. And I just let go. I had to let go. That's what I had to do. I had to let go. Let go. Whatever that means to you. I was holding on really tight to something. I had to let go. And I just let go. And for me, what that meant was I released my body to God. And I let go of my body. I visualized my body floating up to God. And I said, you got it. It's yours. I can't do this anymore. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing. I was holding on so tight. I did everything I could. I was just fighting and pushing and driving. And I'm a driver. And it wasn't helping. It wasn't getting me anywhere. And I got to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I'm just done, you know. And I was like, I prayed to God. I'm like, you know, I always try to fix it myself first before I go to God, which I probably shouldn't, but that's in my nature. So I went to God and prayed on my knees a lot next to my bed. 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Lifted my body up to God, to Jesus, many times. I gave it to him. I let go of everything in my life. I let go of all of it. I let go of all of it. I was holding on so tight to everything, my kids, my wife, my house, business, you know. You know, God gave me all those things, and I just let go. I'm like, I had to let go of it. I just had to let go. I was just, I don't know. I got to the point where I was like, I thought I was going to heaven, you know, and I just was okay with it, you know. And I just let go. And I was like, if that's what the plan is, and I let God know. I'm like, I prefer not to go to heaven right now, although it sounds like a really cool place to be. And I would love to be in heaven. I mean, I would love to be in heaven, but I have a lot of responsibilities here. And my preference would be to stay here and you know, finish raising my kids and be here for my wife and those kinds of things. So, you know, I you know, prayed to God. I'm like, just so you know my preference in my heart, like I think I should stay here. But at the end of the day, it's not my call. So, you know, whatever your will is what I'm going to do, and I'm ready to do whatever, you know. Take it, you know, take it. Here's my body, you know. I lift my body up. Do whatever you need to do with it. If that means you're going to take it up, and I'm done, then okay. But I did that, and I ended up just getting so sick. In August of last year, I had 3 days where I didn't sleep for 3 days, and I had very bad anxiety, and I don't know what you would call it. A health crisis, I guess, is what you'd call it. So I ended up in the urgent care first, and basically because I couldn't sleep, and when you don't sleep, all this stuff just gets worse. Your anxiety gets worse, all this stuff gets worse. So I ended up in the urgent care, then I ended up, once that happened, then I was like, I ended up in the ER actually too. And the ER is what helped me. The urgent care didn't help me. The ER gave me a pill that got me to sleep. That's what I needed. I needed to go to sleep. So I gave me a pill that would make me sleep. So after I did that, I realized, you know, this supplement thing and trying to, like, you know, take milk thistle and binders, and I had been doing that for 3 months, you know, and here I was in the ER. So it may have been helping, and maybe that's why I had a health crisis, is because it was helping. And I feel like part of it is like I was mobilizing all these toxins, so things were getting worse. So I think it was working, but I crashed and I couldn't do it anymore. So I had been talking to this clinic that did the IV therapy, and I saw how expensive. I was just like, oh, I can't do the IV therapy. It's too expensive. Can't do it. I gotta do the supplements and stuff. And I was doing well call. So I was doing well call supplements, like just taking a bunch of stuff, fish oil, SPM active, all this stuff. And so that broke. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do IVs on Monday. I'm going to check myself into that clinic, and I'm going to do IVs and whatever else he tells me to do until I can function again, you know, and that's what I did. So that's my story. But I try to get the word out there about this stuff, because I didn't really hear much about IVs from anybody on Reddit or anywhere else. And then I went and did it. I was like, why does no one know this? This is ridiculous that nobody knows this. Even the mold doctors don't talk about it. Most of them don't talk about it. I think a lot of them know it, and they don't talk about it for various reasons that I won't go into. So yeah, I did the different 3 IVs. I did hyperbaric, soft chamber. I did soft chamber, hyperbaric, and I would do hard chamber if I had access to it. I found that later. I did ozone sauna. I did some neurofeedback. He had a neurofeedback machine. I did that, and I started on anxiety medicine. Amitriptyline. Amitriptyline is what got me to sleep. Amitriptyline got me to sleep, and then it also helped my anxiety, I think, tremendously. And then detoxing helped my anxiety. After 2-3 months of that detoxing and IVs and stuff, my anxiety was a lot better. And then I later switched from amitriptyline over to Lexapro because it's got less side effects. It's a little bit less, I don't know if it's less potent, it just less side effects and stuff. And I'll probably ramp off of that this year sometime. Okay, so I think anxiety medicine is really helpful. I really pushed against taking anxiety medicine for a long time. But once I took it, I was like, whoa, wow. I think it actually helps you heal too because it gets you out of this fight or flight mode. So I would highly recommend considering some of these anxiety medicines. Okay, mindset, talked about fight or flight mode, limbic retraining, Gupta program. Primal trust is another one that's supposed to be really good. Trusting in God, letting go, meditation, trauma therapy I think is good. I didn't get into that. I'm doing some of that now, actually, just starting some of that. So I don't know, where that's going to go. Gut health, probiotics, the diets you can do, air purifiers. Air Oasis is good. I bought a bunch of air purifiers, and so here's the ones that you are good. You don't need to waste your money on the ones that aren't good. Air Oasis makes a good one. A lot of mold doctors recommend that one, and it moves a ton of air. It's got a lot of technology in it, good technology, and it's not crazy expensive for what it does. It's a pretty decent value. Air Doctor is good also. It's ultra HEPA, so it filters finer particulates than most. Air Doctor is good, and a lot of doctors recommend that. Austin Air is pretty good. If you want something that is going to absorb mycotoxins, which are gas, you need something with a lot of charcoal in it. Austin Air actually has a charcoal and some other materials, potassium permanganate or something like that. You can look at their website and see. So if you're worried about like gaseous stuff like VOCs and mycotoxins, most purifiers will not touch that stuff. It just passes right through most purifiers. So Austin Air, has like 10 or 20 pounds of this charcoal or permanganate in it. It'll actually absorb that stuff. So I did get one of those. I don't know how, again, I don't know. We actually did a test for mycotoxins on our furnace filter and didn't pick any up. So, I was reacting to the mold or the water damage, like the bacteria or whatever in the wall that we had. We had a water pipe leak in our master bathroom. And I don't know if any mycotoxins were released. We haven't found it on testing here. It may not have been mycotoxins that affected me. I have a lot of mycotoxins in my body from previous exposures that I've been carrying for probably 20 years. From previous houses. I have the gene for, not detoxing mold out of your body. So if you have that gene, your body will just collect the mycotoxins, and you may actually be living in a clean house and be sick from it, And you also have stuff from, 10 or 20 years ago. So whatever house you lived in, you probably still have some of that stuff. I do, and I've gotten rid of most of my things, and I still have some things from those houses. So you might be bringing it with you, or it might be in your body, or both. Other thing I hadn't talked about is antifungals, mold colonization. So you get through this Shoemaker stuff and some of this detox stuff, and you're still showing mycotoxins. You're still kind of sick. Because I've been on this for a year, right? And I'm still pretty high mycotoxins. Still have some symptoms. You might have mold colonization. And I've seen numbers like 50% or 70% of people end up having mold colonization. I don't know if there's any good stats on that. So some percentage of people have it. And it means that mold is growing in your sinuses, and then it goes down in your gut usually. So you have it in your sinuses and your gut. And so you need to take antifungals. So that's where like Neil Nathan, Neil Nathan's book Toxic talks about some of this stuff. Jill Krista's book Break the Mold talks about herbal antifungals. MassCell360.org or .com also talks about this. She talks about using Argentine silver orally, and she has some other stuff she talks about too. And she has a mold program she sells. So I'd recommend those books though. Break the Mold from Dr. Jill Krista, naturopathic book on mold, really good resource. I mean, get that book or the audiobook and read it. I think I've listened to that audiobook, at least certain chapters of it, like 6 times. And I just listened to it last night again, because there's so much in it. I just listened to one chapter on it, because as you go through it, you'll be on different phases, and you'll have to go listen to the chapter again. But she has a phase on antifungals, and very good. I think herbal antifungals are actually very powerful. And there's a lot of studies, research studies, showing herbal antifungals being more powerful than prescription. So I would not discount herbal antifungals. That stuff I know it's powerful because I take it and it can mess me up real quick. That's because it's killing the mold so fast. So you got to be careful with some of this stuff. So read her book. Her chapter on herbal antifungals is called the Fight chapter, where you're fighting the mold. Real quick, what she talks about is Pau di Arco. She talks about Pau di Arco tea, but you can also get the Pau di Arco capsules, like on Amazon. It's a little more potent. I know because the Pau di Arco capsules will cause me to have die-off, and I'll get sick a little bit, and the tea doesn't. So the goal is actually to not really feel the die-off. The goal is to just operate, like kill it right below where you're feeling crappy from it. It's just hard to figure that out. You got to figure out, you got to test a little bit. And while you're testing, you're going to be like, oh, now I'm sick again. Okay, now I'm sick again. It's just, especially if you're a driver like me, you're going to hit the gas pedal and make yourself sick all the time, which I do constantly. So I'm just trying to figure out, the tea actually probably is better because it doesn't make me sick. And that's what she says in the book too, that you can drink the tea 5 times a day, every day of the week, every day of the year, and just keep on doing it. And so that's a really good baseline, is a Pau di Arco tea. And then there's another tea, I think it was Holy Basil Tulsi tea. That's what it was, Holy Basil Tulsi tea. I think it was a little bit stronger maybe. I haven't tried that one yet maybe I should, because I don't feel the Pau di Arco. Maybe I'd get sick from the Holy Basil. I've tried Holy Basil capsules and have not gotten sick from that. And I did get sick from the Pau di Arco capsules. So again, I'm getting sick from the mold dying off, not from the actual herbal medicine. So here's the other ones. Pau di Arco capsule or tea. Holy Basil Tulsi tea or capsule. Olive leaf extract. That's a good one. If you read her book, you'll hear all the other benefits of that one. It's a little more powerful. Thyme, even more powerful yet. Thyme can come in different varieties and formats. Capsule, I don't think that you do a tea because it's too powerful. Essential oil, the herb itself, that's like the herb that you cook with. There's just different ways you can do thyme. I haven't done thyme yet. It's more powerful, so I've kind of avoided it. Colloidal silver, I have done. I actually handle colloidal silver pretty well. Argenta 23, I've done that. I've been doing that. Oregano is very powerful, and you need to be careful with that, because oregano will kill a lot of stuff in your gut besides just mold. So be cautious with oregano. I don't take oregano, but I might at some point. So Dr. Krista calls oregano the bomb because it blows up your gut. So but it helps. It can help, I guess. So just be careful. Then the prescription strength stuff that I think is actually maybe stronger in some cases, but also you've got antifungal resistance to some of these prescriptions already. So some of these things may not work as well as they used to. Just like antibiotics, same kind of thing. But the main one that you'll hear about a lot for mold, Aspergillus, is called Sporanox. The generic is itraconazole. Itraconazole, it's an azole antifungal, and it appears to be very powerful for killing mold and Aspergillus, which is a mold in your gut. And I found that it's so powerful that I can't actually take it. I've tried it at 1/5 of a capsule, and it's too much. It's too much for me. So I've actually gone back to herbals. I'm gonna try to work on herbals for a while, and then move back into the Sporanox if I feel like I can. I actually just detoxed my body for about 10, 11 months before I really started messing with antifungals at all. Because every time I tried an antifungal, I would just get messed up. So be careful. Take binders with these too. You want to take binders right after them. A lot of people say like an hour or two after. So they say, oh, you don't want to bind the antifungal. I take binder with Sporanox at exactly the same time. My theory is like, well, it's so hard on me. If I end up binding half of it, that's probably okay. And I take the binder right with it, and I still get sick from it. So it's not binding all the medicine. That's for sure. Not for me at least. So hasn't been a problem for me. I just take it at the same time. Sporanox, yeah, okay. Diflucan, fluconazole is the generic name. That's a system-wide antifungal. It's good for yeast more so. I don't know if it's that effective for mold. Usually people have a yeast problem too with mold. And then nystatin is a GI-only antifungal that works best on yeast. And nystatin is really effective, and it stays in your GI tract, does not get absorbed in your body. So it's kind of it's a low side effect, low risk kind of thing to take. But a lot of people still have Herxheimer reactions from it, which I do as well. So it's killing enough stuff in your gut that's releasing these toxins. The toxins are, leaky gut usually, which I have, and those toxins will go through your gut wall and get in your blood anyway, even though nystatin doesn't. The toxins will. And so you still have to be careful with that. So I take a binder with that too, and I'm just really careful with how much I take. So those ones. So yeah, I really haven't done. I've done nystatin and Sporanox a little bit, but I just don't handle them very well. So I'm just doing the herbals now, and I'm kind of looking at this like just like I am the nasal sprays. Like it's a long game. Just stick antifungals, for a long time, months, maybe a year or two, and just slowly kill this stuff. Because if I kill it fast at all, I just get messed up, and it could take me days or weeks to recover from it, to detox my body back out of it again. So, and that's talked about a lot in these books. Go slow is fast. Mast Cell 360 talks about that. Slow is fast is slow. I've experienced that. My personality has a hard time with it, so I keep on going fast and then losing time. So just try to go slow. Don't push yourself too hard. You want to try to kill this stuff without making yourself feel sick. When you feel sick, you're actually damaging your body. So don't do that. Okay, antifungals. Antifungals is a whole new thing. I'm just getting started on that stuff. So I feel like it's a whole new phase. It's a whole new battle now. And I've told myself, I'm going to have to be comfortable with being a little sick now. A little sicker than I'm used to the last 9 months or so. I was getting used to feeling pretty good, which was nice. So I need to get used to feeling a little sick now and just know why I'm getting a little sick and try to limit how much sick I'm getting. But I've been so cautious about it that anytime I feel a little sick at all, I just stop, and I gotta keep doing it. So that's where that's at. What else on the Git stuff? I think that's it. And then, like I said, there's antifungals for your nose too. I'm not as worried about that right now because I didn't test positive for mold in my nose. And I've got the essential oil spray that I'm using, which is what Jill Krista recommends for mold in your nose. So I feel like right now I'm kind of covering the bases on that. And we'll see, in 6 or 12 months where I'm sitting. If I have to do more, I may have to do, antifungal prescription sprays again for longer periods of time. Some people do surgery. There's a surgeon in Atlanta, Georgia that I saw, ENT, that treats this. And it's pretty invasive. That's why I haven't done it. It's not a simple thing. Insurance does cover it, I think. It sounds like insurance covers it, which is shocking. Like that anything is covered by insurance blows my mind. So, hey, insurance covers it, so you might want to look into it. He goes up into he actually punches holes up into your upper sinuses up here, gets up in there, because they're not actually open